Consider an individual who has been given a 450-year prison term because he is so dangerous. A particularly evil and cunning person who poses a serious risk to society and even to those incarcerated. This is the tale of one of the most terrifying prisoners in history, Nikko Jenkins. Due to his menacing appearance, Nikko became well known online years ago and was known for killing everyone who looked at him. How much of that is genuine, though, and what bizarre crime has he committed to earn his 450-year prison sentence? Nikko's life has always been difficult. He experienced and seen numerous traumatic events from an early age. Just look at this guy's family tree, please. For decades, his family has caused chaos in Omaha. In any case, it goes without saying that 7 members of his immediate family, including his mother, father, 3 sisters, uncle, and cousin, have all committed felonies. Just know that Nikko is the worst of them all. We'll discuss their respective roles in this shortly. He kept going back to juvie and mental hospitals because he couldn't keep himself under control. He carried a loaded .25 caliber handgun to his primary school when he was 7 years old. Additionally, he stopped attending courses on a regular basis when he turned 11, and he was expelled from group homes for fighting with everyone. Oh, and by the time he was 13, he had essentially experienced what it was like to stab someone. I had no idea how to cut an apple when I was 13. In any case, Nikko became an early member of gangs, and for 2 armed carjackings in 2003, he was imprisoned at the tender age of 15. Due to his persistent misbehavior while incarcerated, the court added 2 further accusations against him, both for inciting a prison riot and assaulting a guard. However, many people's life took a negative turn with the judge's subsequent ruling. Because the courts ordered those additional sentences to run simultaneously rather than consecutively, he was only given his 10.5 years in prison and did not receive any further time. The year 2013 saw his eventual release. He went on a murderous rampage rather than repenting and learning his lesson. I'm telling you, this guy never stops. And had the judge not applied the sanctions in that manner, a lot of this could have been prevented. 11 days subsequent to after gaining his freedom, Nikko shot and killed Juan Peña and Jorge Ruiz at random. The worst part is that he used his family to entice the 2 men to the spot, and he did it with the assistance of his sister and cousin. They both had their wallets stolen and were shot in the head. It doesn't end there, though, since 8 days later he shot and killed Curtis Bradford, an old prison friend. The strange thing is that these 2 took a photo together the day before the tragedy. It seems as though you can no longer even rely on your own pals. Anyway, the motivation was straightforward. Nikko's sister thought Curtis's pals were to blame for the 6-month fire that destroyed their home. In order to trick Curtis, the siblings set up a trap and pretended that they were going to rob someone else. Rather, it proved to be a hit on him. Days pass, and Nikko is again at it, stopping an unidentified SUV and shooting a woman 4 times this time. Andrea Kruger, the victim, was a mother of 3 children, and it was one of his family members again. Warren Levering, his uncle, was the one this time. He was aided in the murder by his sisters, cousin, and now uncle. In reality, though, there was one more person. Lori Jenkins, his mom. She was the one who initially purchased the ammunition for him and was aware of all the events. Shortly after, Nikko was ultimately taken into custody on a charge of unrelated threats. Investigators discovered that he was connected to all of the murders as they pieced the puzzle together. Now, just because he was removed off the streets doesn't mean that his rants are over, because he started them right away while incarcerated. After being questioned for 8 hours, Nikko admitted to all 4 killings. It was merely a sacrifice for Apophis, the Egyptian serpent god, they said. Yes, it seems that he was instructed to do all of that by the serpent. The courts attempted to impose a death sentence on Nikko. However, he managed to obtain a razor while incarcerated and carved Satan into his forehead. Then he divided his tongue in 2, making it look like a snake. He was trying to make his dock look like a serpent, and the most crazy thing he did was damage it with a guard's badge. Anyhow, his behavior aroused questions because it gave the impression that he was crazy, because nobody with a sound mind would act in such a manner. The jail warden was asked by the judge how Jenkins obtained the razor in the first place. The warden admitted that Imai had no idea how he obtained them and that he could not ensure that it would not occur again. The fact that prisoners frequently smuggle items into prison and have access to a lot of items they shouldn't is, after all, well known. But you're telling me that they couldn't even stop a man who was kept in solitary confinement for 23 hours a day, had a camera installed in his cell, and was monitored by a guard every 15 minutes? In addition, he was prohibited from interacting with other inmates. He even succeeded in snatching a set of 7 handcuff keys and swallowing them on another occasion. Knowing this man's background and family, as well as hearing about his actions, makes it simple to believe that he was let down by the health and judicial systems. Here, however, we will pull the reverse Uno card. As you can see, Nikko was merely pretending to have mental health issues after being assessed by several state psychiatrists. Despite his savage actions, they thought he was highly shrewd and well aware that he may avoid the death penalty and instead be put in a mental health facility if he was found to be insane or stupid. By that time, the man was practically struggling for his life. The court hearings were postponed as a result of these circumstances, and for a short while, Nikko appeared to be on the verge of avoiding his final penalty. But the ultimate decision had to be made by a 3-judge panel in May 2017. The 3 judges have to unanimously approve the death penalty in order for it to be carried out. At last, it was official. One of the most ruthless gangsters was finally receiving what he deserved after years of torment. Now he would still be sentenced to 450 years in jail, even if he was not given the death penalty. Having said that, I am aware that this was a heavy video. What do you think about Nikko Jenkins and his complete story? Tell me in the spaces provided for comments below. Watch my many more weird videos like this one. Press the like button. It only takes a moment and will greatly benefit the channel. As always, I will see you all on Saturday. I adore you all very much.